Lewis.
Yes, sir.
The book writer, man, out of Inglewood, California, man.
The
You know what I'm
finest.
saying? So we gonna sit down here like we always do. Y'all know how we do, man. We got to get the information on how you grew up in Inglewood, what it was all about for you. You know what I'm saying? And the journeys you went through. So, in saying that, introduce yourself, man, and let us know what it is.
That's right. It's Inglewood's finest, Little Money Mall out the ransom. The L Money Side Hustlers, y'all remember us. But Frank Lewis is the name, and positivity is the game that I'm coming with today. And that's what I had to come to the big homie so he can let me get this real game out there.
That's right, man, that's right. So, man, give me some history on your Inglewood. Was you born and raised on the east side?
Oh no, I'm an Inglewood baby. Cinderella Hospital, 12/11/79.
There it is.
Yeah,
man,
I was born in the
Inglewood,
wood. But my mom and dad stayed on San Pedro and 118th at the time. So I really wasn't, for the first 8 years, not living in the wood. I was in the East Coast.
Okay.
But my grandmama stayed in the bottom, so every weekend,
Right.
I'm in the wood.
Right, you say you had a brother from Crenshaw Mafia, right?
Yeah,
You got a brother
yeah.
from Crenshaw Mafia, okay.
And my mama husband.
And your mama husband.
The haircut. My mama married the haircut.
Okay, that's what's up. So what year did you move to Inglewood, California? From 118th Street?
After Tiptoe and Chinaman and them got killed, this would have been, I was 8 years old. We talking 1988.
1988. And what do you remember about that, man? Just, when you first moved to Inglewood, I know it was a difference from the east side. It had to be a different look to come from, the east side to the west side.
It was a different feel. Like, when you in jail and there's a tension between the Southsiders and the blacks and you could feel that animosity, it's a different feel. Like, Inglewood didn't have the animosity that the east side had at that time. And what's crazy, I've been watching Kev Mack, and Craig Munson explains it was vice versa in the 50s and back in the day. Like, we weren't even welcomed on that side of town.
That's real. So when you moved to Inglewood, do you remember, you said what year was that?
88.
88, okay. That was a year after I graduated high school. Okay.
I'm a baby.
yeah, man, for real. Okay, so, and y'all moved where? To the Bottoms?
104th in Yukon. Now at the same time, my grandfather was living on Osage and Prairie by the racetrack. So we had family there and family on Yukon. But I did most of my living on Yukon. And growing up at that time, at the same time, we a lot different based on we Puerto Rican. Okay. So it's a lot of cultural differences that my grandmother, not me, I was born and raised right here, you feel me? So I didn't have to deal with them, but my grandmother not speaking English, I ran into prejudice and racism as a young homie in Inglewood.
No doubt.
And it shaped me differently, and my mentality really matured quicker, having to be able to be more thick-skinned from dealing with people bagging on me because I'm yellow, got curly hair. I had to deal with a whole lot of different situations by 8 years old.
That's right. So, man, by dealing with that, how old were you when you say your father got killed in Inglewood by IPD, right?
Yes, sir.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 10. I just turned 10. My father got killed March the 10th, 1990.
Okay.
I had just turned 10 December 11th, 1989.
Okay. Man, that had to be terrible, man. That had to be terrible.
What made it worse was it was a domestic violence issue. When crack came in, my moms and pops fell victim to it. So they started smoking.
Right.
And Pops was a very proud brother. He wasn't no banger, he grew up Black Panther, but his brother was Lawrence out the Bounty Hunters and Mark out the Jungles. So he had an affiliation because he sold his little weed, his yellow jackets, did his little car accident issues. That was his hustle back then. And my mom's coming from the Puerto Rican grassroots, that's her people's, and having some Florences and Lennoxes in her family.
Okay.
She had access to narcotics that she was able to help Pops get.
Right.
And he wanted to be a pimp, so it was like a match made in heaven.
It all went together, huh?
I swear.
That's right, like a puzzle, that's right, came together. So, I remember in the book, man, it was saying something about when y'all lived in the Bottoms, your house, was it in the Bottoms that your house got
burned down?
Burnt down?
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy, huh? As a kid to see all that drama like that, fire going on and all that, was you actually the one that seen the fire that happened?
No, it was a what they call that, a cocktail.
A cocktail, okay.
And yeah, I was in the house at the time. And now keep in mind, from being brought to the east side to 8 years old, I was living on 118th in San Pedro.
Okay.
So I'm in the heart of East Coast hood, and I'm a wannabe. I've never got put on East Coast. I've never been a Crip, but going to Inglewood, I had blue chucks, blue jacket. Like, you wore what your environment.
No doubt.
You don't want to be wearing red and get killed, yo. So mom's gonna dress you like the other people that live around you, which is a big mistake. We gotta start teaching our children now about this. Like, people look at me crazy when I talk to my children like they're adults.
Right.
But they gonna have to learn how to be adults because we live in an adult world.
That's right. That's right. That's real talk. That's real talk. So man, why did they? Do you know why? Do y'all probably don't really know who did?
Oh no.
But do y'all know why that it was done? Why they do a cocktail?
I know it all. Cause see, years down the line, I ended up getting affiliated with the Crenshaw Mafias before my hood turned Bloods.
Okay.
So when I went to YA and it had to be a line push, that's the line I went to. It's either Legends and the Raymonds, the IBCs, or Mafias, the Sinners, and the Neighbors. I went that way.
Okay.
So what happened is my auntie was dating one of the dudes, and my mama and them was smoking. So you know, a lot of people don't know, back then a lot of Raymonds and the trailer parks were smoked out over there.
Okay.
And them coming over there, it wasn't like we was a Raymond hangout spot like I heard from the homies. That's why they did that.
Right.
It was just some smokers coming over there to get their issue in and just being affiliated with that side of town and dealing with the mafias that don't play.
Right. Okay, so they came, cocktailed the spot. Did y'all move right away after that? Or did y'all stay?
We had to. It was, the spot was deemed. That's why the first time I seen the red tag. Like I thought, I thought somebody died in there when I seen that. It's like, no, it was a red tag because it was uninhabitable. But we was forced to move to over there where the Legends was growing up at.
Okay,
so,
what street area was that?
Flower and Prairie. No, not Prairie. What's that street? We used to have the Diamond Rider shop on that street. I want to say
Arbor Vital.
Arbor Vital.
Arbor Vital, yeah, Arbor Vital. Okay.
But that was shortly though.
Right.
It was shortly because it was temporary. My grandmother was always a hard worker. That's where I got my work ethic from.
Okay.
And she worked for American Airlines. She actually was the person that put the empanada on the airplane. Like, she made it for one of the workers at the job, and they was like, oh, we got to put that on American Airlines.
Okay. That's what's up, man. So when you moved over there, you wasn't gangbanging though, right? Or you still thought you was pretty much affiliated with the East Coast?
Now see, this what happened. On me, I get to Inglewood, and the area that I was in was like one of the only neutrals, like the bottoms from all the way from back then, you could say Manchester to Imperial was homies. Mm-hmm. And this one little spot right behind Inglewood High School, Fur and Hillcrest. I'm in that little area. It's where my pops got smoked at. Right behind Inglewood High, there was a family, and they still around. They've been around for years in Inglewood, but they come from all kind of like back in Tukey Williams days, like Big Ice Mike, his brother Rod. They was all Crips, but they had a brother named Shallow Rock from Swan. Okay. Whose sons was from East Coast, who I ended up in Hawaii with for like 8 years straight. Right. And those two dudes tried to turn me out. See, but we moved over there because of the bombing. My pops didn't get killed yet. Right. So I wasn't finished. As long as that man was alive and in my life, and father should listen to that though, like real talk, because I've learned a lot from doing a lot of time incarcerated and being able to express myself now. I can say as a father, the need for their kids having us in their lives. So you want to always be aware, even if it's just a phone call. And I know my older kids looking at me like a hypocrite right now, but y'all doing good though, ain't y'all? You feel me? And that's why. Y'all will learn one day.
That's right. That's what's happening. So you moved over there, and who was over there in that area over there off of Fur and them? What was over there? You say it was Legends? Was the Legends up and running over there when y'all moved over there?
I've been contemplating this all last night, working on my lawsuit paperwork. There's a gang that don't nobody probably ever heard of, but I would consider the hardest Inglewood Crip gang. And it was called the Making Dollar Bills. Making Dollar Bills. And this gang was made up by my cousin Ace from East Coast, First Street. You had a dude named James that started the Playboys. Then you had Big Ice Mike. Like, these dudes was the triple OGs. I like Skip say they get mad you don't put them double O's on there.
Right.
These type of individuals. But this is 89, 90.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people think crack just hit everywhere in 83, 84.
Right.
It was slowly working its way that way to Inglewood. It wasn't like in 84 we was balling like the 60s. Like it was a different type of era. Right. So at that time, you had people like the Inglewood 13s, I would say that was there, the Auto by the Locos. That was actually like Creeper and Shady. That was their barrio, that street right there.
Right. Okay, so man, so the Inglewood 13s was over there, and then the Making Dollar Bills.
And they are hood now. This is now, and don't try to get mad at me because I keep it G'd all the time. The Mad Ass Gangsters, that's them. Like on the set, that's the Mad Ass Gangsters.
Okay, so that's them. Making Dollar Bills.
No, oops, sorry, my bad. Typo, 11A Riders.
11A Riders.
11A Riders.
11A
but
Riders.
it's the same thing though.
11A Riders, I heard of them.
They, I want to say they was on the documentary. The Mad Ass Gangsters did that documentary Malik, the peace between, it was the Paybacks against the Mad Ass Gangsters.
Okay.
So they like the trays of Hawthorne. Okay. So they rode together, but that's what happened. Chili Bean from Making Dollar Bills moved to 118th and Yukon. And that's where that turned out from. Because they came before the Mad Ass Gangsters. So honestly, it evolved all the way down.
Right. Okay. So was you ever a part of the Making Dollar Bills?
Oh yeah.
You was a part of the Making Dollar Bills.
The first gang I got put on, this was what Making Dollar Bills was before. It was one man gang posse. It's 5 of us. Wacko, Mike, Sam Dog, and that's what I ran to when my pops got smoked.
Okay.
Cause see, 1990 came around and domestic violence started. Now it went from smoking. That's where the contributing factors that we don't understand is because we so busy in the streets, distracting ourselves from the pain and the things that we need psychology, prayer, and faith for.
Right.
So when you sit down, and that's why a lot of us can't do it out here because we too busy moving. Right. I did 10 years, so I sat down and I thought hard. And what they don't teach us in there, we really had to get out here and learn on our own.
Right.
And relationships and communication is the biggest boundary that we have to scale, communicating with people. And that's what, when my father got killed, I didn't know how to communicate properly.
Right.
And that taboo about psychology isn't for our culture is, I wouldn't all the way go with incorrect, but we need to replace that. We can't take something out of our upbringing that's supposed to be psychologically shown to help our development and not replace it with something. That's where crystal, crack, powder, all of these things come to help us balance out what our parents was taking away from us, not knowing how to really be parents.
Okay. That's right. So what was the first Bloods that was over there? Because you said it was the Inglewood 13s.
Arbor Village Bloods, Grizz, JB, SB, the 9-4 families.
9-4 families, okay, 9-4 families.
That's their hood now.
Okay. So did they take the whole hood over as far as everybody that was over there?
It was a war. Dino from Dubs.
You said you ain't my father, so fuck you, my nigga. Now go ask your father. Need a ride to your P.O.? That ain't my problem. Them niggas just rush you. That ain't my problem. Your dumb ass don't listen. See, there's the problem. You can't keep a job and you always in drama. It ain't ever your fault. You put that on your mama. Hold up, homie. Let me tell you some real shit. Your problem ain't my problem to deal with. Bitch, those ain't my problem.